Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Jashana here with, as you probably guessed if you can read the title, Goodreads Unpopular Opinion. Is it a tag? I don't think it's a tag, just thing. I've seen this going around, people doing this, and I love it. And I was curious about my own, so I thought I would check it out. Basically, all you're doing is looking at your, books that you have read on Goodreads and sorting them by the rating, and all of your 5-star reads looking at to see any that you rated 5 that like the average rating is significantly lower, and then on the opposite end of the spectrum looking at maybe your DNFs or 1 or 2-star reads and comparing them to the average ratings that are much higher than what you gave. And I'm not fancy enough to be able to record myself scrolling through it at the same time, so I will try to figure out how to do the side-by-side. I don't know how any of this works. Wish me luck. But at any rate, I have them all written down. So when I sorted by my 5 stars at the top, this is what we came up with. And some of these aren't super low, the average rating, but I pretty much did anything that was under 4 stars. Some of them get pretty close to 4, so maybe I shouldn't count those. But I don't know. I feel like if I rated it 5 and the average rating is just under 4, I mean, that is a decent difference. Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn, whatever the frick. The average rating is 3.93 and I gave it 5 because I really, really liked it a lot. Obviously, I loved it. I said that before in a different tag video, I think, about her novels, that I love them and I love her writing style. I don't read a ton of mystery thrillers though, so I feel like when people do, they don't love her books as much, but I love them. Monstrous, average 3.97. It's close to 4, so that's not too bad. Nutshell by Ian McEwan, average rating of 3.7. I gave it 5. I love it. 3.7 isn't bad, but. Jane Steele, the average is 3.93. And I Darkened, the average is 3.9. What? Great Gatsby, average is 3.9. That doesn't surprise me, really. I mean, it's a classic, a modern classic, but some people really dislike it. I'm actually surprised that it's not a little lower than that. The Paris Wife, 3.8, and that's, again, still pretty decent, but I thoroughly enjoyed that. Julie of the Wolves, one of my favorites from my childhood, 3.79. Soulless, one of my favorites, 3.91. The Alchemist, 3.83. I'm very surprised by that. Just because, I don't know, I feel like people love The Alchemist, but perhaps not. The Bad Beginning by Lemony Snicket, 3.9. Austere Academy by Lemony Snicket, 3.98. Wuthering Heights, 3.83. So far, none of these are too super low. Enchantment, 3.86. That's an Audrey Hepburn book. I will always give her 5 stars. So that's all for my 5 stars that really stood out. Again, none of them are super, super low. The lowest was Nutshell at 3.7. Now on to the books that I DNF'd, and then my 1 stars and my 2 stars. There are a lot of 2 stars, so I did, it had to be 3.75, or 3.7, I think. No, 3.75 or above for me to include it. So books that I DNF'd that have higher ratings. Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. DNF'd that. 4.2 is the average rating. Wonderful Feels Like This, 3.92. Christmas at Little Beach Street Bakery, 3.82. I hated that. I hated that character. There was a character in there that just legit ruined the book. It could have been, I could have enjoyed the rest of it, probably, but this one character just, nope. Caraval, 3.94. I don't understand. A Winter Dream by Richard Paul Evans, 4.04. I started reading that and I was just like, these are all awful characters. I hate them. Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. I DNF'd that sucker and it has the 3.85 rating. I hate it. It was so boring. Last Christmas in Paris, 4.17. I don't even remember that book. The Wizard Heir by Cinda Williams-Chima, 4.14. I read the first book in that series after reading the Seven Realms series because I loved it. Read the first one and it was okay, it was fine. And then I started reading the second one and I couldn't get behind it. It's like an urban fantasy, kind of like a Harry Potter thing where there's magic and wizards, but there's also the real world and people don't know about magic and wizards. And yeah, I just remember being like, I could not care any less. And then for my 1 stars, there's only a couple of those. Typically, I don't have very many 1 stars because if it's so bad that it's a 1 star, I anymore pretty much just stop reading. So these were all from years ago. Don't Breathe a Word. I gave it 1 star, and it has a 3.59 average rating. I feel like I remember that one being some weird thing with like fairies and kids getting kidnapped by fairies and then coming back. I don't know. I really don't remember. I just remember not liking it. Go Ask Alice. I remember hating that book so much. Oh my God. And if I read any of these now, I probably would DNF them. That one has 3.76. Let the Sky Fall has 3.91. No, there was so many. It was like so much like insta-love and like just dramatic teenage, like we just started talking, but like I'm so upset that you went and had dinner with another girl or like whatever, stupid crap. And then Magonia, 3.58. That's not super, super high, but I mean, it's higher than 3. It's higher than halfway, right? And I did not enjoy that. I would 100% have DNF'd that if I read it now. So then 2 stars. Again, there's quite a few, so I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. Catch-22 has an average 3.98. Nope. So Dreams of Gods and Monsters, I DNF'd it technically, but I still rated it because I read 75% of the book before I DNF'd it. So Little Women, 2 stars for me, has a 4.05 rating. Sorry. Seraphina, 3.98. This one I was so excited for. I was like, I'm gonna love this. Dragons. Girl can talk to dragons or like become a dragon, I think. And nope. Eon, 3.98. Rebel of the Sands, 3.97. Did not care for that. Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. I think this is the highest one. Nope, it's not. Nope, I lied, but it's up there. Average 4.16, and I gave it 2 because Monty. Everything has a 4.09. We know how I feel about that. The Shifter, 3.82. This was one that like, it was okay, but I just was like wanting it to be, it could have been so much better. And I just felt so meh about it when I finished it. So. The Shadow Queen, 3.75. I've seen some people talk about that. I've seen it on Bookstagram a lot. I mean, it's a pretty cover, but not a good book for me. The Beautiful and the Damned. Honestly, I should probably move this to a 1 star. I gave it 2. It has a 3.75, but I freaking hated that book. So this is the one that has the highest average rating that I gave 2 stars, and that is The 5th Season by N.K. Jemisin. Has a 4.31. Did not like it. Starry Starry Night. This is one of my like childhood favorites, and I'm gonna keep the book, and I'll probably read it again someday. But it has a 4.01, and the last time I reread it last year, I gave it 2 stars, simply because it's one of those where it's like a few short stories about Christmas and whatever, and I really didn't care for many of the stories this time around. I think it's 3 stories, and I think there was like 1 that I liked. But I don't know, nostalgia, I'll probably keep it and reread it. The Last Time I Saw Paris, don't even remember this book, what it's about, nothing. 3.77. This is a bummer. Dead in the Family, Sookie Stackhouse. This is book number 10, and I've said this before about this series. It's one of my favorites, but it definitely goes downhill as it goes on. This one has 3.8. I gave it 2. This is the second highest average rating that I gave 2 stars. Down Among the Sticks and Bones. Is anybody surprised? Probably not. It has 4.22. This is another one that I recently reread, and The Notebook, 4.07. Upon reread, I realized that the movie is so much better, like so much better than the book. And then Red Queen, I gave it 2, has a 4.07. And it was fine. Overall, the concept and everything's cool. But I just remember while I was reading it, being like, this chick is stupid. Like, the main character, she's supposed to be this, like, street smart, whatever. And then she goes into this palace, and she can't tell that this one prince is clearly manipulating her. I was just like, I can't with you. Like, that was my biggest problem with it. She was just stupid. So there we have it. I think that's fun to do. I highly recommend that you do it if you haven't yet. Again, I don't think it's really a tag. I think it's just a thing people are doing. And I find it interesting, and I love it when other people do it. So go for it, man. So like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Let me know in the comments if you horribly disagree with any of my ratings on either end of the spectrum. And yeah, that's all for now. Thanks for your time, guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.